The Second World War was the biggest armed and bloody conflict of the universal history, in which there faced the countries that were shaping the Allied powers and the powers of the Axis. Between 1939 and 1945. Some facts of the Second World War were: June 10 of 1940, Italy enters the war. Italy invaded southern France on June 21. Operation Barbarossa. Nazi Germany invaded the Soviet Union on June 22 of 1941. December 8 of 1941, USA declares war on Japan and enters the Second World War. May 9 of 1945, Germany surrenders to the Soviets. The launch of the two major nuclear bombs, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, forced Japan to surrender.
The Second World War came because of the invasion of Poland by Germany under the concept of living space and reduction of the German army and could have no modern combat weapon. The serious economic and social crisis in which Europe was after World War One.
Consequence of the Second World War. 1. Political consequence. First, disappearance of fascist regimes in Italy and Germany. Second, end of Japanese imperialism. Third, crashing of the United Nations. 4. Affirmation of the US power. 5. Consolidation of the Soviet Union. 6. Formation of capitalist bloc and the socialist bloc. 7. The division of Germany, Korea, and Vietnam in areas dominated by US and Soviet Union. 8. Start the Cold War between the Soviet Union and the United States. 9. The independence of many Asian and African countries. 2. Economic consequence. 1. U.S. economic dominance. Second, weakening of Europe. Third, help U.S. Western Europe to run the Marshall Plan. 4. Economic strengthening of the Soviet Union. 5. Soviet aid to Eastern Europe and countries of communist governments. 3. Social consequence. First, the death of about 50 million people. Second, the mining of millions of people. Third, destruction of hundreds of cities and ports in Europe, Asia, and Oceania. Fourth, the displacement of millions of civilians affected by war. 5. Straining of capitalist bourgeoisie and the increasing number of workers. 6. The resurgence of unions and movement of liberty charity. 4. Technology consequence. First, construction of new weapons and perfecting others. Second, the manufacture of atomic bombs. 3. Invention of missiles and radars. 4. Improvement of transport and telecommunication.
World War II was bad, as some leaders like Hitler took advantage of his power to mistreat and kill people, and all deserve respect. in addition to the thousands of deaths that left this war. On the other hand, in this war, there were countries that were winners, like the United States, which was consolidated as economic power worldwide.
The Cold War dominated the second half of the 20th century, specifically between 1953 and 1962, years marked by the death of Soviet leader Joseph Stalin and the Cuban Missile Crisis in Cuba. It all began with the end of the Second World War, and Cold War was called because the war between the two nations, probably for fear of nuclear escalation, is not active. He did not have direct war between the two superpowers, but that indirectly faced in other countries. Direct conflict over nuclear deterrence, that is, by the fear that a nuclear war ended with the victors, with mutual annihilation was avoided. However, some important facts were in 1989 fall of the Berlin Wall, and 1948 Berlin Air Life.
The Cold War came because the Soviet Union wanted to spread this communist ideology throughout the world, which alarmed the Americans who hate this political system. Both countries feared attacking each other.
Consequence of the Cold War: 1. The United States and the Soviet Union built up large stockpiles of nuclear weapons and based mobility. 2. Destructive conflict came to Vietnam and Korea. 3. The Berlin Wall was torn down and the war's pact disintegrated.
We believe that the war shouldn't exist. We think different solutions like treaties between countries and avoid many tragedies, deaths. World power should worry about helping other countries and not only have more power.